Hey everyone, so what I'm going to do now is make some trail bars. I don't know what to call them. They're literally just bars that you would eat on the trail, which you can buy in the shops, and they cost, I don't know, anywhere from like £1 for a few, which are just rubbish, all the way up to like £3 for just 4. So although yeah, they might have better macros, so better carbs, fat and protein and stuff, but I want to make my own, which is a bit of a challenge because I hate cooking. But in fact, the last time I tried making these, I followed the ingredients and kind of made it up myself as I went along as well. But it said I had to put them in the freezer at the end. So after cooking everything, after putting it all in the pan and stirring it all up, it said put it in the freezer. And I was like, well, I don't want ice pops like on my last walk. I didn't want to be having stuff melted, so I put it in the oven and then realised that that wasn't the way to do it. So definitely going to not put them in the oven this time, and I will put them in the freezer and see how it goes. What could possibly go wrong, right? So in total, it's going to consist of some cereal, some nuts and like raisins. I was going to take the raisins out because I can't stand them. But then they're full of sugars, they're full of vitamins and good stuff, I guess, so I'll keep them in there. There's honey, there's chocolate, there's caramel chocolate, which just, I don't know, just makes it yummy, I suppose. And you mix it all together and melt it over the stove, so that's what gives it its moisture, because you don't, when you're walking, you really don't want to be just feeling dry all the time. And I think I might add some water into it as well if it looks a bit dry. I don't know. But to give a bit of added protein, I'm going to add some My Protein stevia chocolate mix, just 5 scoops of powder, which adds an extra 10 grams of protein per bar. So yeah, I actually, it says 10 bars, or I'm saying 10 bars because it's a round number, but you know, who knows? At this stage, it could be anything. So the stats so far are a total of 8,690 calories for the mix. So if you divide it by 10, that makes 869 calories per bar, which is what I'm going for, because the last thing we want to do when we do this walk is be stopping every 5 minutes or every 10 minutes to cook our foods. It just can't be doing with that because there's no time. But to have something you can eat and nibble on the way will be great. And 810 calories, that's like, ooh, what, a quarter? Okay, maybe less than a quarter of what we're going to be burning each day. So that's going to be really helpful. So each bar, yeah, 869 calories, 110 grams of carbs, which is fantastic because we're going to have the weight on our backs. We're going to be walking up hills, so we're going to need that. 33 grams of fat and 26 grams of protein. So all in all, I think for a massive walk, obviously we're not weight training, so we're not looking at that perfect ratio, but we're going to need the protein to rebuild the muscle each night. That's going to be really important because when you go walking with a backpack, you're constantly, it's like weight training. It may not be that heavy because what are they, like 15 kilos, which 15 kilos you can deadlift. Well, I hate deadlifts, but you can deadlift like 90, 100 kilos. So it's just the fact that you've got it on your back all the time and then you're going for it. So yeah, that's why I'm doing it. I don't even know if this is how it should be. So it's not like to give you advice or anything, but this is just something that I'm doing. So hopefully it'll turn out okay, right? Since you've got 500 grams of nut and maple crisp, it's just like the Tesco's one. I'm using those instead of oats because there'll be sugar and there's some nuts in there as well, so extra protein and fats. Then just normal mixed nuts and raisins, just 500 grams. I think it's 500 grams. Yeah, 500 grams. Cadbury's caramel chocolate, just the best stuff ever. A couple of tins or jars of honey. It doesn't have to be expensive honey. Honey is honey, isn't it? And then the stevia stuff, which is kind of like, rather than sugar, it's stevia sweetener. It's just the powder from My Protein, and then I do have some sleeping aid tablets just in case Jamie bores me and I really need to get off quickly. So I'm going to crack on and make those, and hopefully they'll turn out okay. Who knows? Anything's possible. Okay, so if anyone's interested, just all I'm going to do with the process is not a cooking thing, so it's literally just if you want to see how it's done. First of all, with this, it's literally just going to mash it all up. It's not professional at all, just mashing it up into little bits. Okay, and then I've added the nuts. I don't actually know if this would even work, to smash nuts. I don't know. Doesn't look like it, so they might. Oh no, it is a little bit. So I'm just going to give that a bit of a smashing, grind them up a little bit. I used to use the blender, and the blender it just congeals because it looks like the nuts have got like a little bit of moisture in them, and they just like became a big clump at the very bottom of it, and it was just really awful. So screw that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just do it this way instead. So once the nuts are like little or whatever, I'm happy with them. I'm going to add in the chocolate and add in the honey, and then that adds some moisture, and then you put it over the heat, and it all sort of like congeals together. So yeah, yummy. Okay, so honey goes in. I just love watching honey pour. Anyway. And then add the second one. Look at all of those calories, those beautiful sugary calories. And literally just add in the chocolate so it just melts in. There. Oh wow, look at that focus. Look at that lovely mess of nothingness. There we go. So the honey is now like mixing in. I'm just stirring it, and then the chocolate is melting into it as well. Okay, so this is the last scoop of my protein powder. That's 5 in total. I just spread it over like that and fold it in. And it's actually, what it's done is it's actually helped. I don't know if you can see in there, but it's quite liquid. So it is over the heat at the moment. But what it's doing is it's helping to absorb some of that honey. That's just obviously liquid honey. And I'm hoping that I might just add some small oats, just a small amount of oats, just to soak up some of the excess liquid and then put it in the freezer. So that's the theory. Again, I'm no cook, and I could be very, very wrong. In fact, I'm likely going to be very, very wrong. Okay, there it is. It's all been put into the tray. It's still really hot at the moment. It's all quite liquid, but it literally just scoops in. And then what I'll do is put it in the freezer and then slice it down the middle and into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, makes 5 pieces. So yeah, 869 calories per slice, so not bad. Hey everyone, so what I forgot to do was actually say what they were like. Doing this video like a week after the walk, and that's because I didn't even mention them on the video. So it was kind of like, hey, look at these trail bars, and then didn't mention them at all. And most people who know me would probably say, well, that's because they sucked, or they were a failure or something. And, well, they kind of weren't, actually. They were really nice. So, as I said, we cut them up into little slices. And what I did is I put them in the freezer afterwards, just to let them cool and everything. And then I wrapped them in tin foil for the walk. So I wrapped 5, so 1 for each day, because 870 calories would be enough. And anyway, we got to the day 1, and the trouble with the mix is extremely sticky. So they're wrapped in tin foil, but when you try and like unpeel them, it's kind of like trying to unpeel it. I don't know if it's the honey, but maybe it was too wet. I don't know, who knows. But what I can say is, oh my goodness, they were good. I started eating one and was like, wow, like it just shocked. Like when you've, and also in a perspective, when you've walked like, what have we done? I think maybe 20 miles by the time we had our first one. And when you've done that and your muscles are sort of aching, you've sweated a lot. Oh, the chocolate, sweet, honey, crispy sort of taste with the nuts. It was just amazing. Even Jamie, because I let Jamie have a bite, and he was like, wow. So they were really, really good and really, really welcome. So yeah, they're full of nuts. In terms of allergen, it's obviously not vegan or anything like that, but if you're out on the trail and you're not allergic to any of it, I definitely recommend making those, because, well, for the sake of a few quid, however much it costs to make, like, you can buy bars, you know, you could buy the equivalent of that for, I don't know, £20, and it still wouldn't have as much protein, it still wouldn't have as many carbs. Like, that was just tailored for walking and doing long distance stuff. So hopefully that, if you do want to do it, you can always ask me, you know, how I did it. Obviously there was a little bit of heat in the saucepan just to melt everything down, but it's not cooking. Like, that is literally just mixing things together, putting some heat on so it melts, congeals, and then pouring it into a thing and putting it in the freezer. I mean, if I can do it, anyone can do it, because I hate cooking.